Andrew Tate is the closest modern-day example of Martin Luther King. Andrew Tate and MLK were two people who were relentlessly attacked by the media, opposed by those in power.
So your enemies have attacked you here. It's cruel. It's horrible. It's unfair. It shouldn't be happening. And we have to fight. We have to fight. We have to fight. We have to fight. Fight, fight, fight.
There are a bunch of British NGO-sponsored incels who sniff lines of soy in their basements and hate men and hate testosterone and hate this country.
Just general allegations saying, trust us. We wear wigs and speak with a funny accent. You know, sometimes they catch you with a bullet. Other times they make your plane drop out of the sky. This time, this is what they're doing to them. Andrew's been on the record for a long time saying that England is coming and, you know, this is what they're doing and they have a plan and, you know, I'll never myself.
Maybe my job on this planet is just to take a fucking beating over and over again and just pay for everyone else and give everybody else what they want. And maybe I'm just here to fucking suffer and get my ass kicked, and I'm going to do it all so I can give everyone else a fantastic life and give everyone else mindset advice. Nobody gives me mindset advice. Nobody helps me. Nobody helps me with my mindset and saves me when I'm depressed. No.
Well, guys, here the fuck we go again. Because we have the return of the Taint, along with his clown of a lawyer, and their army of pathetic little goobers who are doing everything and anything to support their poppy and to support the most famous taint on the internet. And I've really got to say that I didn't think that an arrest could be so damn goofy and entertaining. But of course, since it's Andrew Tate we're talking about, he found a fucking way. And the last time that we covered this goober and the shenanigans that just continue to go on, we saw his lawyer just completely making an embarrassment out of himself, his legal team, and his clients. But we were also watching the Taint completely abandon his alpha male persona and continue to whine, cry, and freak out as he sat in prison. And on that front, a whole lot hasn't changed, except for the fact that instead of just bitching, moaning, and complaining, Andrew has also decided that he was going to start telling stories about what is going on with his jail experiences. And at this point, the shit is just getting pathetic, and I strongly doubt any of it is actually happening. And he has now been out here complaining about a crackhead that apparently moved into his neighboring cell and stated that he spoke to him a little over 5 minutes, where he just revealed that he was addicted to crack. And then for like the next couple of days, he has just been reciting different things he watched him do online in his videos and has been basically just annoying the shit out of him. So to sum it up, Andrew apparently isn't only now just sitting in solitary confinement, but he's also just getting harassed by a fucking crackhead all day, constantly spamming him with quotes. And when he finally replied, apparently the guy just said that he's in jail because he's got a loud ass mouth. And this isn't the only story he's been telling, because he also dropped another tweet where he was talking about how apparently everybody in the prison was cheering and shouting along with the guys outside when they came to protest and when they just sat there screaming free Top G and did a bunch of push-ups. And apparently the cell next door to him was talking about how he's the top G for real, and nobody believes the lies anymore because he has the whole prison on his side. And yeah, it's just a whole lot of copium, and it's just him trying to continue to try to keep up that act of being loved and having all these people on his side, when in reality it was a whole like 30 to 50 people that actually showed up to come protest, and not thousands like all of the Tate fanboy pages were trying to say it was. And as I said, along with this, he was doing a whole lot of his usual activities, like calling everybody else worms and referring to himself as an eagle. And of course, he has recently just been getting extremely upset about the food trays that he's been receiving, because apparently all he got was a piece of bread and 3 fish sticks. And naturally, he did the only thing he could think of, which was to start singing about it. And he tried to claim that he basically just had the whole jail going off and singing with him as they had a Jailhouse musical. Like, this is the levels of delusion we are hitting here, where it is fuck a High School Musical, we're just going for the Jailhouse musical, and it's the biggest load of horse shit I've ever heard. And he's not the only one who's been complaining about the food, because along with this, there's also been his brother Tristan, who decided to have their clown of a lawyer just try to push this heartbreaking message that he wrote on a notepad, where the lawyer was coming in talking about about, look at this note from Tristan. I am hungry, with a fucking broken heart emoji. And the note basically is talking about how they only had 14 snack items in the past 32 days between the two of them, and how he has apparently lost 13 pounds and is hungry. And they're acting as if that they've only had a single Snickers bar that was supposed to last the 3 days between the two of them. But at the same time, that doesn't make sense, because Andrew is bitching about the trays he's getting, so obviously they're getting more food than that. And it's crazy to see these two wannabe alpha males crying, and their lawyer promoting it, thinking it's good for their brand in any way. But their lawyer is also a dipshit himself, and when he's not posting that, he's just spamming AI, and is posting videos like this one right here.
No extradition without Trump's permission! Americans first!
So the straight up goober has resorted to spamming AI instead of working on their legal case. And the craziest part is, to some extent, the shit is working, because they still have a bunch of goobers and clowns and a bunch of just Andrew Tate meat-riding glazers out here trying to protest, doing push-ups, and doing anything they can to get their poppy's attention.
Yo everybody, Joe texted the signal. Yeah, check out the signal, let Joe know you're here.
Oh, there you go! He say hi! Yeah! Woo! Top G! Free Top G, he sees us! There you go! There you go! There you go! Hey, I recorded everything. Hey, he's doing a keto! He's doing a keto right now! Right there! Aikido! Woo! There you go.
Free Top G! 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 Let's go, baby. Fuck yeah.
And at this point, a lot of these clowns and these Andrew Tate soy boys who are doing anything they can to impress him are actually getting more delusional than he is. Because I don't know what kind of Aikido he was seeing through that tiny ass window from that far away, or what the hell he was seeing in general, but I couldn't see shit. I did not see Andrew Tate, I didn't see shit happening. He was just hyping up everybody around him for no reason, and was imagining him doing Aikido in his little window, as he fantasized about his poppy giving him attention. And these Tate fanboys have been getting so out of control that they even started their very own protest page, where they've been upset about Andrew and Tristan just being starved in this mean old federal jail, and where they've been making posts basically going after Sneeko for some reason, and their way of going after him is by stating that he was trying to do gay shit with Andrew. And I don't know why this is their point of attack. I don't know where this is really coming from. They just heard Andrew make the claim and they ran with it. And now they're trying to promote that this has actually happened and that Andrew and Sneeko might have done something gay together.
You also have all these Muslims that are brainwashed by the Matrix agent Sneeko, who became a Muslim after Andrew Tate in order to somehow blackmail Andrew Tate, maybe by doing some gay shit and getting him on camera. We're still trying to figure that out.
So I love how this implies that the way that he could be trying to blackmail Andrew Tate is by doing some gay shit with him and getting it on camera, which is just so goofy that I actually can't believe this goober right here is saying it. But it only keeps getting more goofy as his lawyer takes the spotlight and tries to get the attention that he oh so much craves. And as more clips from the protest and from these other little Andrew Tate fanboys interviewing him continue to get out, and in a lot of them, it just shows him basically being mad as hell about all of the haters and just talking as much shit as he can.
What's your thoughts on all these like Tate haters online? It almost seems like they're coming from like a funded source. Like it almost seems like they're not even real people.
They're a bunch of British NGO sponsored incels who sniff lines of soy in their basements and hate men and hate testosterone and hate this country. They're funded, they're losers. I wouldn't look at that as reality. I would just look at that. Picture yourself as a man or a woman of God out here, and if you could see the ethereal realm, and if you're walking with the Spirit of God behind you, and then you have all these demons surrounding you. These are these little demons, these little elves, these little ugly little creatures who try to gnaw and chip away at you and get you to give in and get you to surrender and get you to stop what you're doing. They're nothing but a satanic, weak, pathetic, gay distraction, and I wouldn't even consider anything that they're saying as true.
And Can somebody tell me how? How in the fuck is this guy a lawyer? Where this is the only thing he can do is just yap all day and just make up shit about all of the videos being made on Tate just being funded by some source. When in reality, the shit is just goofier than hell and it's hilarious to watch, so obviously people are going to be making videos on it. I mean, for fuck's sake, Andrew is making up these stories about having a Jailhouse musical as a bunch of his fanboys who paid him money to learn how to be alpha males are doing push-ups in the middle of the street and outside of the jail. And then to top it off, their lawyer is just out here talking about how it's demons gnawing at their ankles and how it's a bunch of British soy boys who hate masculinity, instead of actually going and defending his clients and making his case. It looks like he's spending more time out here in the streets with all of these goobers rather than actually doing his job. I think the guy just likes the clout he's getting. And when he's not just yapping about the haters, he's also trying to talk about the case at least a little bit, where his big grand plan is just to basically beg Rubio and Trump for help at the end of the day.
Do you think that the Tates will be able to get out, or do you think that they're going to be extradited to the UK? What's your thoughts? What's that looking like?
It's hard to say. You know, it's hard to say. It really depends on the level of grace and the level of justice and the level of courage from everybody in the process. We believe that we have a compelling case in front of this judge for bond, but my understanding is she's never let anybody out on bond, ever. I could be wrong on that, but my understanding is she's never given bond to anyone. Wow. We need to demonstrate to this judge and say, Your Honor, this is why for the first time in your storied career that you should let Andrew and Tristan Tate out. If she says no and they stay in, then we have the extradition fight. If we lose that extradition fight, then it needs to go to the Secretary of State, which is of course Marco Rubio, and we'll make a compelling presentation to him as well as to why they shouldn't be extradited. And if they do extradite them, well then you can understand that the Republican Party is lost.
And of course, he just keeps trying to make this thing as political as he can, because it's probably his only hope of actually winning anything. But there is one new argument that this clown has been trying to make, which is basically that they're doing this because they're racist. He takes this stance to where he's basically acting as if that because they are mixed and because they are basically black, that is the reason this is happening to them. And this is really crazy when you consider that this goes against Andrew and Tristan Tate's entire message, along with all of their fanboys like Myron, who are constantly backing him up and who are there when he is saying this shit.
And don't forget, Andrew and Tristan are minorities, biracial like I am, half black and they're half white. And the real experience for a black man when it comes to the system in this country is if you speak out, you speak to power, if you speak out against the party narrative, they will lock your black ass up and throw away the key in 6 seconds flat. And that is what's happening here. It's, boy, how did you get in this room? Boy, why are you talking so much? Boy, don't you know that you don't come from this type of family? Boy, we're going to make an example out of you to make sure that every other black man in the world shuts his mouth because he knows that the process is punishment and that we will incarcerate you, whip you, chain you, bind you, to make you remember the storied history of this country, which means that black men cannot rise above poverty.
So now, all of a sudden, he's just pulling the race card thing. And I want to give a shout out to Gadget because he's the reason I was even able to get these clips. But the shit's just ridiculous. And as I said, the fresh and fit guys are literally right there. I mean, in the next panel, you can even see them sitting there agreeing with everything as he's talking about how the Tates are getting sent to a damn gulag.
The enemies of Tate know this. The United Kingdom knows this. This is why they're packaging allegations from a foreign government, a foreign jurisdiction, foreign accusers, in order to use the extradition process here to politically kidnap them and stick them in an English gulag to rob them of due process.
And it just shows you that the real reason they're there is just to look good for their little fan base and won't even stand up to something that they disagree with because it's being said by the Tate's lawyer, so they're just going to go along with it. And their views are just suddenly super flexible because it benefits Tate. And their lawyer has really been going hard on this race thing, where he's been trying to play this same exact card during his little podcast and has been talking about it, how when they went to Washington, he warned them because he knew the people in Washington wouldn't like them there because they're not from the same families and all they're from. And they did the whole boy, you don't belong here thing again.
And I said, just fly to Florida. Please don't fly to DC. And they, we have meetings with Congress and we have meetings with this person and that person. And I said, bro, I know you guys have a lot of friends there. I know you do, but you got a lot of enemies as well. And it just, you're going to piss somebody off. I know it. You know, well, we're Americans. We have a right. We're innocent. I said, I know, I understand. And I love you guys so much. I do. but that's not the way DC works, right? There are rooms, like I've been in the rooms with everybody at this point, and there are rooms that I've been in that I just don't ever want to go in again. And it's not because I can't get into them. It's just when I get into them, look, I talk with a Brooklyn accent. I'm Puerto Rican and Irish. I come from the lower class. I pulled myself from my bootstraps and built myself up in this world and got myself into those rooms. But there's this idea of like who you come from, how far back does your generations go in your family?
You know what it is? This ain't for you, boy. Right?
Yeah.
I'll shake your hand, I'll smile, but as soon as you leave the room, we'll look at each other, be like, who let him in here? It's Taylor's all the time.
That's exactly right. And that's what I really feared for them is exactly what happened. And what happened is this. They went to a couple parties. Some of them were private, some of them were public. They met with members of Congress, which is their right. And then they went to a big soiree where all the who's who in DC was there that night. And you know what happened? They held court. Everybody that was in there surrounded them, took pictures with them, wanted autographs. Can you talk to my son on FaceTime? My daughter loves you. It was the best thing ever. And as soon as I found out how good it went, my pit in my stomach dropped. I said, man, they're going to get arrested. I know it.
And yeah, I guess we're just getting to all-time highs when it comes to desperation, because he's going against their entire message just to try to do anything and everything to get more people on their side. And I have a feeling it's only going to continue to get more ridiculous as Andrew's goofy ass sits there in his cell and just daydreams about even more wild scenarios, and as their lawyer tries to dance and act like a fool for everybody's entertainment and for a hope at somehow winning. But with that said, that's enough of these clowns for one day. So if you enjoyed, please drop a sub and a like and join the Saints Mafia, where we are flaming all of these wannabe alpha males. And I'm out, watching the taints go completely delusional. And peace.
You know, they're in orange jumpsuits in jail, looking like Al-Qaeda terrorists. It's not right. None of this should be happening. It's very, very evil. It's very, very wrong. And people think that it can't happen to them, to their fathers, to their brothers, to their loved ones. But you get the right people in power and they look at you and look at what you're doing the wrong way, and it'll be you next. If you didn't have your papers, if you said the wrong thing, off to the gulag you went.